My name is Madelyn Rhenisch. In October of 2006, through the assistance of Healthcare for All, I was the first person enrolled in Massachusetts' new healthcare coverage. For over 10 years, I had struggled with unexpected and unexplainable health problems that left me unable to work, forced me to abandon my graduate work, and which exhausted all my resources and all my retirement funds. I went from being an active professional and community member to a survivor, focused simply on trying to make it financially, physically, and emotionally. When I first got sick, I went to my doctor, but he could not identify the problem. I was referred to numerous specialists, neurologists, endocrinologists, rheumatologists, and many others, and had countless medical tests. But no one could explain the debilitating fatigue, severe brain fog, and excruciating pain. After 6 months, I could no longer work. I had lost my medical insurance and exhausted my COBRA. I was on my own, and without insurance could barely afford one doctor's visit a year. I lost having a productive life and had to give up on the promising future I had been so close to achieving. In October of 2006, the Massachusetts Healthcare Act changed all that. For the first time, I was able to seek out the doctors and health care that would help me get well. I no longer lived in fear every day that a new health problem or an accident would make things even worse. I could afford prescriptions without worrying about whether I could also afford food and rent. I was able finally to get back on the road to health, and it was finally determined that I had been suffering all those years from undiagnosed Lyme disease and its increasing complications. Thanks to Massachusetts healthcare, I am finally climbing my way back to good health, and I feel like I have a chance at life again. Without good health, it is impossible to work, to support one's family, to contribute to society, and to serve others. I can now return to work in the community development efforts that I love. I can better take care of my 92-year-old mother. I can start saving again toward retirement. A country is not healthy if its people are not healthy. A healthy and productive population is a critical part of America's strength. A country cannot thrive if its citizens feel abandoned in times of ill health and hardship. I'm deeply, deeply grateful to Healthcare for All, to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, to former Governor Romney, to Governor Patrick for his continued support and efforts to strengthen healthcare in Massachusetts, and to everyone who helped create and support this critical legislation and program. Now that I am almost fully well, I can't imagine living in a state without adequate and affordable health insurance. I'm so relieved and gratified this security will now be extended to the American people as a whole, and I'm eager to resume my place as a productive citizen and make up for the 15 years I lost. I'm proud to be a citizen of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, which has led and continues to lead the way for the nation in achieving the fundamental right of health care for all.
My name is Rosemary, and I live in Winthrop, Massachusetts. When I was 29, I moved to Washington, D.C. for my first internship after grad school. My new boss promised me health insurance, but when I showed up at work, I was told that there had been some kind of administrative problem, and I wouldn't be working there long enough to qualify for insurance. So I thought, okay, I'm probably fine, and I applied for individual coverage, but I got denied because of a few minor pre-existing conditions like mild asthma. So I desperately tried to figure out a way to get insurance, and I found a way to reinstate my grad school insurance for a few months. Unfortunately, I would have had to go back to my school's health center, which was hundreds of miles away, for any routine care. Needless to say, it wasn't a great situation. When the internship ended, I moved to Massachusetts, which was where my boyfriend was from. Now I was in a state where pre-existing conditions didn't stop me from getting coverage. I was hunting for a job, and I applied for local insurance to cover me until I found work. I was immediately accepted, despite any pre-existing conditions. And within days of getting this healthcare coverage, my hopes of getting a new job were dashed. A doctor had found a small lump, and it turned out to be breast cancer. It wasn't terminal, but it was later stage. Suddenly, my new full-time job was being a cancer patient. I really didn't expect to get cancer at 29. I don't think anybody expects to get cancer at 29. and a messy, complicated healthcare system can make this diagnosis so much harder to handle. Unlike my friends from other states, I was spared the need to struggle for insurance while enduring grueling treatment. Because I moved to Massachusetts when I did, I got healthcare right in the nick of time. If I hadn't, I might not have been able to get the insurance that covered me through chemotherapy, radiation, and about 5 surgeries. I really feel like the Massachusetts healthcare system swooped in at the right time and saved my life, and I am so grateful that the Supreme Court has affirmed this care for my friends and the rest of the nation. I imagine what it would have been like if I hadn't gotten it. I was unemployed, no income source, and you get so sick when you're going through cancer treatment, so sick. You often can't work. So, there's another me who lived in another state and was just, unable to cope.
Yeah, every time I hear them say, well, we don't need this, or it's an intrusion, I'm like, I don't understand it. I just shake my head and I go, but, where would I be? My life would be over. I mean, I really lost just about everything. I had put, 20, 30 years into building for myself. And the assumption is that nobody needs a safety net, everybody's fine. And maybe if you're well-incomed or you're getting congressional health care because they have it, you're not in touch with the realities of, it could be anybody. You could, and given the healthcare costs now, I mean, it could be a very reasonably fortunate person who one diagnosis, or losing your job, not being able to work, feeling sick. People can't negotiate when they're sick. You're just trying to survive. You're just trying to struggle through. And you can't go to the resources you need, and you try to do self-care. It's just exhausting, and I don't understand people that can't look at the human experience. And whenever I hear people fighting this healthcare legislation, I just think they are absolutely and totally out of touch with the human experience of what happens when something adverse happens to you and you lose all your resources. It's just tragic.